actually about a minute and a half early. It's 4:58 and 30 seconds right now on these United States East Coast time. And we're going to talk about, we'll give some folks some time to get in. We're going to talk about everyday use, heavy-duty use watches, high-end watches, and heavy use. Obviously, anybody can just strap on a G-Shock and use it for heavy use, but we're going to talk about the concept of using a relatively high-end watch as a heavy-duty use watch, a day-in, day-out, wear all the time watch. We're going to talk about that because I think it's important to have gear that you trust and can use, and not necessarily gear that's just sitting in a box somewhere. And let's see, Haja is in the house, says hello, and we are just a couple minutes early of our start time, and it's coming up on 30 seconds before 5 p.m. on the East Coast of these United States, and that's when we're supposed to officially be live. And so we'll let people come in. Thomas is in the house. David Williams is in the house, listening in the car. He's in motion. He's making things happen. He's probably wearing a heavy-use watch as we speak. Thomas might be wearing a heavy-use watch. Rolex can obviously be used as a heavy-use watch. So let me cut real quick to the diver here, and we'll take a look. I put a video up. Let me swing this mic around a little bit closer to my mouth. Put a video up earlier today that I shot giving the 10-month update on the diver here, and it is doing really well. But it has a bunch of fine scratches. See the scratches on the case there? And I didn't really clean this up much. I'm not into cleaning watches up. I actually use the watches. But you can see the fine little scratches on the case. And let me show you this side. Same thing on this side. And somebody also commented on the orange peel. There's some orange peel on the Zaratsu polishing. It's not perfect. It really isn't. But it looks absolutely gorgeous. And that's what matters to me. It looks absolutely gorgeous on wrist. And that bracelet is just stunningly gorgeous. And the flexibility in these bracelets is what really makes them comfortable. People compare them to the Rolex. Oh, the Rolex is much stiffer and so on and so forth. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean it's going to be as comfortable on wrist. Now, this is the real tell. Notice this clasp. Let me get it clasped up here. Notice the scratches on that clasp. I can try to get it in the shot here a little better. The focus point. It's all scratched up. To see, that's stainless steel. And it's softer than the titanium, the special alloy, the grade 5 titanium that Grand Seiko uses. This is tough stuff. And again, it has fine scratches on this. But at normal viewing distance, you really don't see them. When it's on wrist, it really looks stunning. Stunning. So that's the thing. This has been in heavy use for 10 months now. And that heavy use isn't going to stop anytime soon. The watch is running on average about a second, a little less than a second fast a month. Well, let's check it here. Let's get the Apple Watch up here. Side by side. They're upside down, but there's nothing I can do about that. And let's start the Apple Watch up. Whoops. Doggone it. Come on. Okay. And let's see, how can we get them in focus? How much of a difference is there in the time? And you see that, what the difference is? That's since November, since early November, the difference in the time there. Okay? So it looks like, to me, like it's about, I want to say, it's coming up on 20. At most like 6 seconds at most, and that's from since November. So that's pretty good. Pretty good accuracy. So so there's that. So if this jacket is creating too much moire, I will switch it with a different jacket. It's creating a little bit of moire. This is my summer weight cashmere. This is one of the first Oxford sport coats that I got, and it is just super, super comfortable. It's a lightweight cashmere, and let's see here. What do we got here? The Titan looks like it's in great condition. Titanium is a scratch magnet. Not this titanium, not this grade 5 titanium. This is tough stuff. Typical titanium, you would be correct, but not this titanium. Check it out, research it. There's a link in the comments. Educate yourself a little bit about it, and you'll know what time it is. Just a few seconds fast. Seiko uses a higher grade of titanium than the Swiss. It doesn't scratch as easily. Well, it's a grade 5. It's a special grade 5, and it's actually tougher than the stainless steel that Rolex uses. So it's less likely to get scratched up than a Rolex. Looking dapper today, Yankee Doodle says. And so, yeah, this sport coat is probably 35 years old, still in pretty good shape. It's a little bit tight in the waist because, unfortunately, I've put on a little bit of weight since I got this. Not much, but a little bit. I think I had about a 32-inch waist when I got this, and I got about a 33-inch waist now. So it's a little bit snugger in the waist than I would want it to be, but it works. And this one, of course, has the functional buttons that you can unbutton, what they call the surgeon cuffs. So if I have to unbutton them and roll the sleeves up, I can do that. So that comes in handy. They did that for surgeons back in the day. Let's see here. Bad news on my watch front, Craig. I ordered 2 Seiko tunas, and both were defective. GS quality is great, but regular Seiko quality control is in the toilet. I've heard some news about that. I'll tell you, my Shogun was good. My Shogun held up fine. But, yeah, I've heard some stories about typical Seiko quality control, and yeah, I think it's best to just step up to Grand Seiko and just skip the normal Seikos, I guess. It's unfortunate to say that, but I didn't wear my Rolex sub today. I had total withdrawal syndrome. It's back on my wrist. Okay, Yankee Doodle. Wear your darn sub. Yeah, there you go. So so let me know, folks, do you all wear your high-end watches every day? Are you concerned about beating them around and having problems with them? You know, do you baby your watches, in other words, or do you actually wear them? So let me know in the comments what you think about that. Should we just wear these watches? Should we just use them like they were any old watch? And I'm trying to pull up some photos here. Oh, I'm not even logged in. I'm not logged into my Flickr account. The heck is going on there? See if I can get logged in here. Let's see if I can get logged in here. Okay. Oh, for crying out loud. Now I can't get logged in for some reason. Oh, well. Let's see here. Don't know if I'm getting in this time or not. Okay, this time I'm getting in to my photos here. So I'm going to pull up the photos of the diver. And those are the original photos when I first got it. And there were some comments about the clasp. Yes, the clasp is from a Marine Master, so it's stainless steel. You basically just use the same clasp from the Marine Master, and it actually works really well. It's very functional. It absolutely gets the job done. So there's that. Let's see what's in the comments here. And I wear mine all the time. Yeah, okay. So what is it that you wear all the time? Japanese domestic market Seikos are like Sumo and SARBO through 5 good quality control. Malaysian-made models for the U.S. market and global market are terrible. There you go. So that's probably why the Shogun was pretty good. I think my Shogun was made in Japan. I wear my pre-ceramic sub every day and night except in the shower. I hear you. I take mine off for the shower too. Andrew's in the house. Thomas is in the house. I don't wear my nice watches for work because I have a manual job where they could get damaged. I put one on as soon as I get back from work, Thomas says. Well, see, here's the thing. I was underneath the sink putting in a faucet, a new kitchen sink faucet, right? And I had the diver on, and I'm banging around. You know, I cut up my hand. I got a cut here. I got a cut here. Can't really see it. Anyway, I banged up my hands. I banged the watch a couple times. I mean, it's just all in a day's activities for me. I mean, I don't even dream of taking my watch off. Back in the day when I used to work on cars and stuff, I mean, I pretty much had Rolexes on my wrist. I mean, like a GMT2 or something. I mean, we didn't take our watches off. We didn't even dream of it. We bought the watch to wear, so I don't know. 5712 PP all day today. Breaking bread, covered in flour 6 hours ago. There you go. Wearing the watch. Absolutely. All right, I'm going to change this jacket because it is creating a lot of moire. So I'll be right back. Okay. Hopefully this will have a little less. This is just a pinstripe. Ooh, did a little spark. A little spark there. Woo. Little static electricity. That's another thing I don't like about wintertime is static electricity. So, so yeah, this is a real old Brooks Brothers. This is, let's see. Yeah, 1818 Madison. Brooks Brothers. This is an oldie but a goodie, made in the USA. One of my favorite suits. Suit jacket, suit. Not going to be as much moire with this. These cameras and the compression that that YouTube does is not. It doesn't handle fine patterns well. Creates a lot of that moire where it looks like your jacket's like electric or something. So anyway, people love the patina of a vintage watch, but oddly enough, they won't let their own watch develop the patina. Good comment. Good comment. How true is that? How absolutely true is that? Let's see here. If you can get very comfortably, if you can very comfortably afford a watch and you can wear it without concern. Good, another good point, Brian. Utah checking in. Johnny Utah, how's the new Batman? Don't be like AC3 and buy a watch he cannot afford on a credit card. Yeah, I don't think that's a good move. Why would you not wear your watch. My father gave me his 1996 Daytona. He raced in on his deathbed, saying his biggest regret was not wearing it daily. Oh boy. Isn't that something? That's quite a... I hear you. I mean, and you know, when you're younger, you don't think about this issue, but I'll tell you, and you start getting to be my age, a little bit past middle age, you know, what 61 is the high end of middle age, right? And you start thinking, absolutely, enjoy these things. I mean, it's like the old lady that has the furniture that has the plastic covers on it. And she had the plastic covers on the furniture her whole life and never enjoyed just sitting on the furniture without the plastic, right? Because she was protecting it, right? I mean, enjoy these things because life is short. Life is very short. Trust me, it goes by in the blink of an eye. Let's see what else we got going on here. That's what a beater watch is for. Johnny, why save the nice watches? You know, let's cut to this watch here. You know, here you go. Whoops. Get that in focus. It's hard to keep it in focus, but you can use that watch as a beater watch. I mean, you can buy these for about $5,000 used. New, you can probably buy these for around $6,000 with a discount. They're $7,100 list, right? That's a beater watch. That's what I use it for. I don't have any other watch to use as a beater watch. I mean, I can wear the Apple Watch as a beater watch too, but this is basically my wear most of the time watch. The only time I'm not wearing it is when I'm wearing like a suit, like, you know, a long sleeve shirt. This doesn't go underneath the cuff very well. So like right now I'm wearing the Apple Watch, right? Because I want it to go under the cuff. But other than that, I'm wearing that watch. I'm wearing the diver pretty much all the time. So by definition, it's my beater watch because I'm not going to be wearing this suit if I'm doing something like if I'm under the sink putting in a faucet, right? I'm not going to be wearing a suit, right? So I'll have the diver on. Let's see. Every Friday evening, I go to a dinner party. I get to wear my VC. Is that Vacheron Constantin? And white gold stunner, Yankee Doodle. Okay. I use my, okay, as a beater. Okay. Seiko SKS watches keep going up in price. Check out the new GS Diver Asia Edition SBGA 319G. Let's check it out. Let's try to pull that up here. SBGA 391G. Let's see what we can get. Ba 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 ba. Okay. Yeah, it looks pretty stunning. It looks like that's got like that green dial, right? Is that what it's got? Kind of hard to tell in this picture. Yeah, there's one 5 hours ago. That's stunning. That is stunning. I like the gold second hand. I can't tell. I guess the GS is in gold, but you can't tell from this picture. I hope the GS is still in gold. Maybe it's not. Because if this is stainless steel, maybe it's not. Maybe the GS is not in gold. In which case, I wouldn't want it. I like the GS in gold. Like it is on the titanium ones. So I kind of like that dial, though, but I kind of wish that it would be the titanium version. But yeah, that's pretty cool. That could be a beater. That could be a beater watch. Let's see here. Sorry I'm late. Saw your upload earlier on heavy use titanium. Yep, that's what we're talking about in this extended live stream. We're talking about the same subject matter. Craig, what's your thoughts on aftermarket straps? Johnny Utah says. I'm a bracelet guy. I'm not a big fan of straps if I can avoid it, if I can get a bracelet that works for me. And this bracelet on the diver works, and the link bracelet I have on my Apple Watch is super comfortable. So I'm 2 for 2 right there without having to use a strap. So that's my thing on straps. Are you glad you sold the gold stunner instead of selling the Titan now? Thomas asks. Well, here's the thing about the gold stunner. The subscriber that bought it, he really wanted it, and he got it, and he really likes the watch, and he's wearing it every day to work. He dresses, with a shirt cuff and all, and at work, so he needs a watch a slim dress type watch. So it was really a perfect fit for what he needs, literally, and he loves the watch. And his wrist is a little smaller than mine, so it looks even better on him than it did on me. So I feel good about the whole process, that he got it and he's really enjoying the watch. I had a subscriber ask me about this piece here, and I told him that I would consider selling it to him if he really wanted it. If he wanted this particular watch. I'm not married to these watches, and if I can help a subscriber out with a decent deal, I can always replace it. I can always get a deal on another watch. Watches are replaceable. So the gentleman that bought the gold watch from me, he felt more comfortable buying it from me than buying it from Japan. I sent him the link on eBay where he could buy it. He could have bought it actually for a little less than what he bought mine for. And I told him that. But he didn't want to take the risk of buying it and having it shipped from Japan. And I can understand that. So I went ahead and did a deal with him, and he's happy. I really didn't need the watch. I don't need any of these watches. None of us need any of these watches. So I just kind of, chance to help him out. I freed up some cash. So at some point I'll probably get something else. We'll see. So it goes. Apple Watches will get damaged easily. Mine's held up great. My stainless steel Apple Watch, this one here, has held up great. And I beat it around. I haven't babied it either. This was my beater watch for 2 years because I had this and the date 8. So this was my beater watch. And it's the same thing. It's got a whole bunch of little fine scratches on it, little patina. But I think it looks great. So now I think the aluminum ones, I think they get beat up a little easier, I think, because aluminum's pretty soft. But still, I don't know. I think they'd be fine. Let's see here. What, having a sport watch and using it as a sports and utility watch for its intended purpose? Craig, blasphemy, Brian says. Steve, send Craig a picture of the watches, our wags. Good-looking Seiko, Johnny Utah. If most Rolex owners only baby their watches, then a Submariner and Sea Dweller are too much watch for them. It makes sense to get an Oyster Perpetual Datejust instead. In other words, if you're going to baby it, why get the big heavy-duty sport watch? I guess that's what you're saying. I can see where you're making where that makes a point, makes an absolute point. So, let's see here. Take a photo on your phone and email it to him at CraigShipp@gmail.com, I think. Yeah, if you want me to show a picture, of something, email it to me and we'll pull the picture up, and then just let me know you emailed it and I'll check my email and we'll pull the picture up and show it. If you want to show your high-end beater watch, absolutely send the photo. GS fire sale. Actually, it wasn't a fire sale. I got a pretty good price for it. So yeah, I did okay on that whole thing. And he's happy. So that's the thing. If the seller's happy and the buyer's happy, that's all good. Not sure if it's been asked before, but how would you compare the old SBGA 031 versus the SBGA 231? You can get the old model with almost 2K discount now, but it has the old Seiko logo on top. I think you can get almost the same discount on the brand new one. You can get a pretty good discount on either one. It would have to be at least $1,000 less for me to get the old one. I like the new dial myself. Let's show it again here. Especially on the titanium watch because you've got the gold there. So if you could buy that's another reason why I bought the titanium one, because I like the gold on the dial also. But yeah, I would try to get a nice discount. Talk to Steve at littletreasury.com and try to get a nice discount on the new one. The new 2017 and newer dial. Oh, let's see here. Craig, how do you store your watches? Do you have a special watch box? I have a watch box, but it's empty now. I sold all the other watches. I don't keep a bunch of watches around anymore. I just keep my 2-watch rotation. And at most, I'll have 3 watches. So, for example, if I get another gold stunner, that will be in rotation with the diver watch. And then I always will have the Apple Watch on the sidelines, right? This is like a backup, right? But that's it for me. I don't want to have a whole bunch of money tied up in a bunch of watches that I'm not wearing. I buy these watches to actually wear and use them. There was a time when I had extra watches, and I do have a watch box, but it is empty now. So that's the name of that tune. Scratches add character to a watch. Watches are made to be worn. I agree with that. I can see you in the future, Craig. You sell the diver and then amass a collection of tutors. If I sell the diver, it is probably likely that my next watch will be another Date 8. Maybe the Date 8 40. I'm still on the fence between a Date 8 40 and the 36 as to which will look better on wrist for me, for my purposes. And I'm waiting on the Date 8 to see if they roll the new movement into the 36 mil. If at Bezel World they make that announcement, or if they make that announcement fairly soon, that will be interesting information, because then the plot thickens, right? If I can buy the 36 mil with the new movement, that's an interesting thing. But no, a tutor won't be, especially a collection of tutors. No, that's not going to happen. I really enjoy your discussions, Craig. Thanks for the show. I'm dying to buy a GS Peacock in the future. Please pull up a photo of one for the audience. Okay. I'll do it. I'll try to do it. I'll try to do it here. Okay, Bonanza has one for $5,000. Let's pull that up. There you go. It is a beauty. Now, it's a high beat, which it's okay. I mean, high beat's okay. I'm just kind of a fan of the spring drive personally, but there's nothing, there are no flies on a high beat. That's a for real watch. So pretty freaking gorgeous. Let me see if there's any other pictures here. See if there are any good images here. Oh, here's one on Reddit. Let's see if we can pull that up. There's somebody's picture of one on Reddit. Pretty cool. I like the case design. Oh, shoot. I hate when they keep asking for that stupid permission to do this, permission to do that. All the damn EU regulations. I kind of like the case design better on like the Snowflake style of case design as opposed to this case design. This is a little bit chunkier, but it's still attractive. It's still a lot better looking than, for example, the Maxie case. I suppose teach your own. I just kind of like the curves better on the Snowflake case design. But no, the Peacock is pretty freaking amazing. I mean, I'm nitpicking at that point. Hey, ID guy, how are your Daytonas holding up? Craig, who got you into Grand Seiko? Johnny Utah asks. I've told the story when I did my 40 years from Rolex to Grand Seiko video. And what happened was, I forget how I got the Shogun. I believe what happened was shoppinginjapan.net. I'm trying to remember. This was like probably 5 or 6 years ago. Whenever I did the first video on that, you can look it up. It's on my channel here. Anyway, shoppinginjapan.net contacted me because I had a video on my Rolex and some other videos that got a lot of views, hundreds of thousands of views. And so they contacted me and they wanted me to do a video about the Shogun. They said it's all that and a bag of chips, blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, you send me the watch and I will do a review on it. And if I like it, I'll do a review on it. I don't do negative reviews. Almost never, right? And so if I like it, I'll do a review. And if I really like it, I'll keep it and I'll do a series of reviews on it. But either way, you're not getting it back. So they had to take the chance sending it to me. They had to have real confidence that I'm going to give a good positive review. So they sent me the watch. I did really like it. I did some reviews on it. I even did a review proclaiming it like the best watch ever, in a reasonable price range. Let's say $1,000 price range watch. It was a fantastic watch for that money, I think. I still think it's a fantastic watch for the money, if you don't need super accuracy. So I did that. That went well. And when I was doing my research on that watch, I stumbled across a video about the Grand Seiko diver, spring drive diver, by Arizona Fine Time. I think it's still up on the web. And I was just really intrigued that here's a higher line version of basically the Shogun, which was titanium, and this other one was titanium. And actually, I think maybe the first one I saw Arizona Fine Time do, I think it might have been the stainless steel version. But anyway, here's a higher end version of a Seiko dive watch called Grand Seiko, and I had no idea it existed. And so that was years ago that I saw that, and that kind of planted a seed. And then every once in a while I'd see something about them or whatever, and then I'd check around and see if there was like a dealer around near me, and there never was. It was always a long distance away. And then finally I learned about Little Treasury here in Gambrels, Maryland, about an hour and a half from me. I learned that they were a Grand Seiko dealer. I think they became a dealer like 3 or 4 years ago. And then I said, well, I got to get over there sometime and look at those watches. Anyway, time went by and so on. And then 10 months ago, I finally did go over there and look at one. And I always carry cash with me. It's just a bad habit of mine. But anyway, so I made a cash offer. I threw cash down on the counter with what I thought was a good buy on the watch. I did like the watch. And Steve took it. And the rest is history. That's how it all started. And then Steve became a client, advertised on my websites. He's advertising on all my community websites now. And he's getting business as a result of that. And so, you know, I've covered some events for him. He's hired me to come shoot videos and so forth at some of his events. For all, that's what I do. And so it's turned out to be a good business relationship. Okay, we got an email. We're going to check that in a second. To this day, they're still the best watches I've ever bought. Not a week goes by that I don't wear one. So which watches are you talking about, ID guy? What are you referring to? I wish Seiko would move the power reserve indicator on the back of the watch. It really doesn't bother me on the front. It's not really distracting. Once you get used to it, it's like it's there, and it's and especially if you're rotating two watches, it is nice to know when that power is getting low. Like my Rolex Date 8 would stop sometimes because I just wasn't wearing it quite enough to keep it going, and I hate winders. I hate the whole concept of winders. And so it would have been nice to have known, right, that I was running down. Superb, I want to order one soon. I've been burned badly by affordable Seikos in the past, so I'm looking to move away from them. I hear you. RWAG sent a photo to Craig. How accurate was your Shogun on that? It wasn't that accurate. And the other thing I didn't like about it was running slow. I would much rather have a watch running fast. I can put up with that. But it would run about, I'd say about a minute slow a month or more, maybe even 2 minutes slow a month. And that to me was not acceptable. Again, if it was a minute fast, I'd be more forgiving because you could just unscrew it and just stop it, you know, hack it and let time catch up, right, and then put it back in. I mean, it's so much easier to adjust. But if it's running slow, you got to get the second hand in sync with the minute hand. It's a cluster, you know what. I won't keep a watch that's running slow anymore. And I'll tell you what, if I buy a Rolex, a Date 8, I will tell them straight up, if it runs slow, it's coming back. And I'll get them to put it in writing. And if they won't do that, then I won't buy the watch. I will not own a slow watch. Full freaking stop. I will not put up with it. All right, let's check the email. Let's check the email here. Okay, so let's do Sandro Tucci first. It's a huge photo. Okay, so we're going to download this. We're going to have to download this photo because it's huge. Let's see how we're going to do this. Oh, no, that worked. Okay. All right. There you go. Well, that's the same watch. There you go. I wonder where he is. He must be like on the West Coast or something. 2:30, right? Something like that. He's probably on the West Coast. How cool is that? How cool is that watch? I'd say he's wearing that puppy. Absolutely. All right, let's see what Steve sent. Oh my goodness. Steve's got a collection going on here. Let's see here. Let me open it with, let me see what I can do here. Let me see if I can rotate this around. I want to open it with what? Oh, come on. I guess I got to download it. Let's see, so I can do this. I'm going to call it watches. Okay. Let's see if I can do this. Let's see if this will work. Okay. Go here. Should be able to rotate it. Yeah. Okay, cool. This is going to work. Stand by, folks, while we get this organized. because we're going to look at this. We're going to look at these stunners. We're going to look at some stunners. Some stunners. Here we go. Let's start in the upper left. Air King. I guess it's a 34 mil. I'm guessing at that. But that's cool. How cool is that? That looks like an old Air King. Love the case on that. Absolutely love that watch. We're just going to take a little moment to study that Air King a little bit in the upper left. Absolutely stunning. Okay, and then we've got a Explorer 2, I guess, next to it. I like the case on that. That's got the older style case, so that's good to go. And of course, we've got a Daytona steel and gold. Again, I'm not a fan of a Daytona just because I don't like the clutter on the you know, on the dial, because I don't need that functionality. Now, if I needed that functionality for some purpose in my work or whatever, then yeah, I'd go for it. But to me, it's adding complication that I don't need. But now the GMT next to it, absolutely. I wore those for years, many, many years. I wore GMTs of that style. I had an all black one also. And then it looks like, what do we have next? Is that a gold GMT? I guess it's gold. Lighting's not real good on this photo, but I guess that's all 18 karat gold. And if it is, that's a stunner. And then we've got a Patek, what do they call those? A Nautilus or whatever next to it or whatever. I don't go for the integrated bracelets. I don't like that case design. I just think it's way too much money for a watch that I would not buy. I would definitely sell it. And then we got another Cosmograph, and then we got a White Explorer. What I would do is, at the top of the market right now, we're at the top of the market, I would sell the Patek. I would sell the both the Daytonas. I'd sell I tell you what I would do, straight up, I'm going to be straight up honest with you guys here. I would sell every watch in the case except the Air King. I'd keep the Air King, and then I would take the money and I would buy a Day-Date 40, and I would wear the Day-Date 40 all the freaking time, like Dudley does. And then I would wear the Air King occasionally when I don't want to wear the Day-Date for some reason. Let's say I'm traveling or something and I don't want to have a real flashy watch on my wrist. I'd wear the Air King for my dress-down watch, right? So that way it'd be real easy to just get it going. You don't have to set a date on it or anything like that, right? Just get it going and just go. So I'd have the Air King and the Day-Date 40 as my two-watch rotation. That would be super, super cool. I think that's what I would do. But I'm a two-watch guy. Okay, so what else do we got here? Winders are more for decoration, in my honest opinion. Some winders do more harm than good. Yeah, it's not a good idea to use winders. Not a good idea. Not a good idea to use winders. Let's see what else we got here. What Seiko were you wearing in 2013 along with the Day-Date you had 36 millimeter? 2013, that's 5 years ago. I probably had the Shogun then. You can go back to my channel and search Shogun and see the earliest video, the first video I did with it, and that'll date it. That'll give you the time frame. And that's when I had it. And yes, I had the Shogun in rotation with the Day-Date for a long time, for a couple of years. I also wore this Apple Watch for a couple of years in there. It was in the mix. Let's see. Parnas raised their prices on the Daytona Hummus watches from $84 to $110 plus 20. Okay, your Shogun... Your Shogun need to be regulated. Yeah, they could have probably regulated it. But I did the next best thing. I sold it. Moved on. Yeah. There's a bunch of videos about winders and why you shouldn't use them. I think watches should be worn on the wrist. I think they're wrist watches. They should be worn on the wrist. And if you're not wearing them enough to keep them running, I think you should get rid of them and use that money for something where you can really do some good with that money. Invest it or whatever. Let's see here. Wow, that's a nice box of tricks. The gold GMT is a heavy-hitting stunner. Yeah, it looks like... Is that the Maxie case on that one? I can't tell. It almost looks like... It almost looks like a Maxie case on it. That's why I took a double take when I looked at that. I couldn't really tell what was going on with that. And I don't know about the color of it. It doesn't look that gold to me. Something doesn't look... It must be the lighting. Anyway, I'd sell everything but the Air King and get a Date 840 and move on and do. That's the way I would do. Dudley's really doing well wearing his Date 840. He's doing deal after deal. He's wheeling and dealing out there. Let's see here. Let's see. I don't like integrated bracelet, but you've got to make an exception for the Nautilus and Rolex. I wouldn't. I'd buy the Date 840. I think it's a much more attractive watch. I think it's stunning. Have you seen Dudley's Date 840 on wrist? I mean, it is freaking... Oh my God. It blows away the Nautilus. I hate to tell you guys. You guys want to see those watches again? There you go. Take a look at those watches again there. Craig, in my opinion, these are all keepers. You only have 2 wrists, folks. Come on. So somebody's worth $100 million? Well, then buy a Date 840. It's a good watch for somebody worth $100 million to buy. I would sell the gold GMT and both Explorers, get the President, and call it a day, Johnny Utah says. Yeah, Date 8 is hard to beat for a wear all the time watch. The problem with affordable watches is that it's almost never worth servicing unless for sentimental reasons. Yeah, I think the way to go is to get a Rolex. Somebody says their name is Chip Wrong. Chip Wong. Jeez. Oh, God. Here we go again. The wrench gang's ready, though. I wear all my watches every day. All of them. Looks Maxie case ceramic to me. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Maxie case. I'm just not. I hate to tell you guys. I hope they fix that. The gold GMT is a great piece. Why isn't the Rolex Explorer 42mm not more popular? That's a good question. Steve has 4 GMTs. Sell 3 and get the President. Divorce the wife and marry a 22-year-old. Johnny says, there you go, Johnny. Johnny in the house with all kinds of advice. Let's see here. Sorry I'm late, just to chime in. Whoever's collection this is absolutely amazing, Durr says. Craig, did this man pay you $50 for your advice? No, but if somebody wants to super chat, I will donate whatever they super chat. I will double it and send double that in Bitcoin to Sarah to support her show, Cowgirls Live Monday night. She takes Bitcoin donations. By the way, did any of y'all buy Bitcoin? Did you notice it's been up lately since I talked about it? Thank you. Thank you. Since I told you guys to buy it when it was like $3,100. Remember that? Remember when I told you guys? And you guys said, oh, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. That's what you guys said. Let's see what it's at right now. $3,824. $3,824. I told you to buy it when it was $3,100. But then again, It goes up, it goes down. It goes up, it goes down. It could be $2,000 tomorrow. We have no freaking idea what it'll be. No idea. But it's fun. Let's see here. I think we might have solved the world's problems. Let's take another look at this stunner and get over here, this camera angle here. Isn't that something? Heavy use watch. 10 months. 10 months of heavy use. I think it looks pretty stunning. I really like the bracelet. I mean, people that say it's too blingy and all, I think it looks cool. I think it's got a real high cool factor. I think it's much more attractive than a oyster bracelet, Rolex oyster bracelet, and much more comfortable. It's not even a close call on comfort because of the flexibility and the finishing of it, the way all the edges are all rounded. There's no sharp edges touching you. And even when it's on your wrist, when you you bend your wrist up and this part of the watch here touches your wrist, it's all nice and rounded. Unlike the Maxie case that's real squared off and has hot points and all. These things matter if you actually wear the watch. If it's in a box, none of these things matter. What do you think? What do you think about that signed crown? Huh? So that's what we're talking about. We're talking about heavy use watches. Heavy use, we got $2. Sarah's a very bright girl. She's going to get $4 worth of Bitcoin for that. Absolutely. I hope she's feeling better for Monday's show. And if you guys come in, give her some encouragement. Give her some encouragement. Let's see here. Durr says, everything Craig talks about ends up being cool down the road. In that case, Craig needs to talk about fat guys getting the hot girls. Hey, a lot of these girls don't have much choice anymore because so many guys are fat anymore. It's not like they have much choice. I mean, 2/3 of Americans, I'm not addressing people in other parts of the world, but obesity is getting to be a problem everywhere, to tell you the truth. Fast food is spread everywhere, right? 2/3 of Americans, I think, are obese now. Can you imagine? And like 80 or 90% of them are broke. So can you imagine being broke and obese? That's got to be a real, talk about the cards decked, the deck of cards stacked against you. That's not, what was that line the guy said in Animal House? Being short, fat, and stupid is no way to go through life or something. What was that comment he made? You guys remember that movie, Animal House? That was hilarious. I used the Astra blades. I've got the Astra blades, and I've used them, and they work great. I've used the Vikings blades recently. I'm going to use up the Vikings blades I have, and then I'm going to switch over to the Astras, I think. I think I'm going to stick with the Astras going forward. And my timeless razor, I don't have it here with me right now. The timeless razor's fantastic. Fantastic. Just looks like it has some heft. Johnny, it's very solid, but it's lighter weight than a Submariner, for example, because of the titanium. It's about 130 grams, whereas the Sub is about 155. So it's significantly lighter than a Sub just because of the titanium. If you get the steel version, I think it's going to be about the same weight as the Sub. But it's got a very solid feel to it. And it's not jingly or anything like that. When it's on your wrist, it has a very solid feel. They got it right. They got it right with that watch, I'll tell you. Will the white numbers in the bezel go off over time? That's a good question. I've seen them like 6 or 7 years old, and they seem to be holding up real good. But that time will tell the tale on that. And I'm sure how much they're out in the sun and all that all probably has a effect on it. But from what I've seen, they seem to hold up pretty good. And the bezels are a lot cheaper to replace on this because it's not ceramic, by the way. It's much easier and cheaper to replace if you have to. So that's the reason that Seiko didn't go with ceramic on this. Let me switch over. Is as a diver watch, ceramic will shatter if you bump it against a rock or something, whereas this will not. And so that's really, for a diver watch, that's why they did that. Their GMT has ceramic, right? Because they're figuring you're not diving and banging it against rocks, right? So a true dive watch really shouldn't have a ceramic bezel, if you ask me. And this one has held up fine. I mean, and again, I don't baby it. So, and all the years I wore Rolexes, none of them had ceramic bezels, and they all held up fine, so it didn't bother me. But some people absolutely want to have a ceramic, and there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. But for me, I'm good without. I think they nailed it. I think they did a good job. Let's see here. The bracelet is fine. It's a class that's garbage, especially at that price. The class works fine for me. When I first saw the class, when I first got the watch, I was not enamored with it. I asked Steve, can we switch it out for something else? I just didn't like it. But then I kept using it and wearing it, and within 2 weeks, I'm like, man, this is the coolest thing, because it's so easy to extend it, and just the way it works, the way everything works. I really like the class now. So I'm a total convert. So you really have to, any watch, you really have to wear and use and see how it's actually going to work in everyday use. Now, if you're just buying it, again, to just be in a box, then that's a whole different discussion, right? But if you're buying it to actually use, that clasp is very useful. Let's see here. I've owned the Submariner, and there's no doubt it's a watch in its own class, but bottom line, the accuracy of the 231 is far superior, and that's the bottom line. Well, I think a lot of things are superior. I think the design of the case, the shape of the case, the comfort factor on wrist, the bracelet, the comfort factor of the bracelet, even the looks of the bracelet, I think it's better looking than the Oyster bracelet. So I think it's got a lot of advantages over the Sub, to tell you the truth. I've compared them side by side. Craig, is there any difference in caring for ostrich, alligator, lamb, or cow leather? That's a good question. I've got some special stuff that I use for the ostrich and alligator. Let me go get it. I'll show you. Stand by. Okay. Okay, so this is what I use. Let's go to camera 2 here. That's what I use on the exotic leather. I use that on my boots, on my belts, anything that's the exotic leathers, and it tends to get the job done. It's good stuff. So that's what I recommend. Other than that, I use Picard, P-E-C-A-R-D. Whoops, I just shocked everything with static electricity. Ooh, that wasn't good. Anyway, we're still broadcasting, so that's good. So yeah, then Picard I use for all other stuff, pretty much. I actually like the clasp. It looks fine, easy to adjust, and I live in an area where constant adjustment is necessary. Yeah, I use that adjustment fairly often too. And I use the micro adjustments too. I like the fact that it has both the micro adjustments and the other adjustment. I like that I can adjust it right on the wrist without taking it off. I don't like to take my watch off the wrist. That's an easy way to drop it or lose it or whatever. Cut carbs out of your diet and you will drop the weight like nothing you've ever seen before. See, carbs, Johnny, I think carbs are not the problem. Processed foods, processed carbs are the problem. If you eat a lot of whole grains, a lot of fruits, vegetables, like sweet potatoes, they're fantastic, very nourishing. You want to get high amount of nourishment into your body for the amount of calories you take in. The key is the nutrition that you get. And a lot of things that are carbs, like a sweet potato, has a lot of nutrition in it. Even an avocado, even though it has some fat in it and all that and has protein, it also has carbs, I believe. So a lot of things that have carbs, they can be good carbs. Now, if you're eating a lot of processed stuff like bread, like rice that's not whole grain rice, right? If you're eating a lot of stuff that's just, that doesn't have a lot of nutritional value, but it's got a lot of calories, a lot of sugar, if you will. Carbohydrates are sort of like sugar pretty much, right? But you want the nutrition coming into your body, because the problem with the body is it wants to eat as much as possible, because we come from a time 10,000 years ago when there was not plentiful food. So whenever there was food, you ate as much as you could eat. That's just normal. That's the way the body works. You want to consume food. So the only way for your body to feel like it is full and it's got enough food is to give it the nutrition it wants. That's where the term empty calories comes from. So like if you eat a bunch of donuts, for example, there's no nutrition in there. So your body, you'll just keep eating them, right? Because you haven't gotten what you want yet. Your body hasn't gotten what it needs. So you'll tend to just eat, right? Potato chips, all this kind of stuff, right? And that's why people blow up and get huge. Whereas if you eat food that is dense in nutrition and actually gives the body what it needs, I think you'll be a lot better off. That's what I do. And I'm wearing pretty much the same size clothes that I wore 40 years ago. So that might say something. And of course I walk at least 5 or 6 miles a day and play tennis, and I get a lot of exercise. So there's that too. I think that helps. Ask Rolex owners for time, and he'll tell you. Let me get it from the bank first. Let me look at my phone. I bought a box of 100 Astor blades 10 years ago for around $10. I still haven't run out of the blades. How many shaves do you get out of them, Jordan? How many shaves do you get out of them? Who is better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James? It's a good question. Jordan all day long, the original. There you go. Larry Bird. I was never into basketball that much. I always watched pro tennis. I never watched sports that much except for pro tennis. If I remember correctly, Seiko's Marine Master is quartz, and that's because it's the most accurate and durable movement for professional diving. I don't think it's quartz. I don't think the Marine Master's quartz. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Anyway, may I recommend a jeweler's polishing cloth for alligator? Keeps the pores closed. Mine is held up fine. I've got some Lucchese's they're crocodile, that they're probably 35 years old, and they're holding up great. So, and I got belts that are that old. I've got some belts that I've actually literally worn out, though. So the stuff will wear out eventually. 24 hours per day, 1/3 sleeping, 1/3 play, 1/3 work. 66% of people hate their job, so most people spend 2/3 of their life either unconscious or hating what they're doing. That's sad. It really is. I'm really lucky that I enjoy what I do for a living, so there's that. Let's put this puppy to bed. Good night. I got to eat. Yeah, I've got to eat dinner. I'm getting hungry. So you guys talking about food and all that. I got to eat. Hope to see you sometime this weekend. Yeah, hopefully we're going to do something. Maybe the buyer of the gold stunner will come on, and we'll talk about the gold stunner. And maybe Dudley will come on and talk about the Date 8. I asked him to come on this show, but he obviously couldn't make it. Craig, is that a Herman Miller Arion chair? Yes, it is. Very comfortable. Very, very comfortable chair. I have for my main workstation, it's a standing desk. I don't even use a chair. But I use the chair here for this. As a black man, it's hard for me to resist Southern cooking. That's my problem. I hear you, but I'll tell you what, collard greens and, there's certain things that you get down south that are really, really good. But yeah, some of it can be very heavy on the calorie count. Calories are calories. Greetings from Germany. What's your opinion on the Grand Seiko SBGR 257? Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. Oh yeah, I know this watch. Yeah. I don't like the lugs. I mean the shoulders on the crown. The way they're squared off looking. They're a little bit too squared off looking. Otherwise, it's not. I'm very neutral on the watch, but that's the only thing. Those crowns right there. See how they're kind of square looking? That was a little issue for me on that watch. I remember that watch now. So, Craig, were you a Sampras or Agassi fan? Always Roger Federer. I mean, he's just freaking amazing. Just for Sarah, another $2, so that means she's going to get $8 worth of Bitcoin. Craig, I used to shave with a straight razor, but I just don't have the time to do it every day. I considered a safety razor, but I've heard that the first shave is as bad as the last. I took about 2 shaves to get used to doing it with the safety razor, and now I'm totally comfortable. I don't cut myself. I do 2 passes, and I get definitely as good a results as I got with the Harry's razors that I was using before I was using Harry's razors. So for me, it has worked out great. I love it. I will not go back, period. But I did buy really nice razors. I bought the Timeless razors. They got nice weight to them. You can just let the razor do all the work. Just kind of glide along. So I think getting a really good razor might have helped me. I didn't buy one of the real cheap ones to start out with. Let's see here. Let's see. Haven't even tried to sell the Alpinist yet. I shave on my neck every 2 or 3 days. I change my blades every 3 to 4 weeks. Wow. I've only been keeping them in for about 4 shaves. But now I shave my whole face, so I've been getting about 4 shaves out of them. Maybe I can go a little bit longer. Where's Clive? That's a good question. Clive hasn't been in the house lately. Why you sell the Stunner, Craig? Well, we talked about that earlier. I had a subscriber that really wanted it, really had a good use case for it. and he bugged me about it, and I sold it to him, and he got it, and he really likes it. So worked out good for everybody. And I really didn't need it, to tell you the truth. I can wear the Apple Watch with my suit when I go out on business calls and things. It works fine. And then all the rest of the time I wear the diver. So, Craig, how do you find time to accomplish all the walking you do in a day? It takes me about an hour and a half to do 6 miles. It's not easy, Dara says. I listen to podcasts while I walk. I've got a nice number of podcasts that I listen to, and I really enjoy it. And if it's super cold, believe it or not, I just go up and down the stairs here in the place. I go up and down the stairs, and I listen to the same podcasts. And so I get a workout either way. And when I go up and down the stairs, you really get a workout, but you get used to it. And I can literally go up and down the stairs for 2 hours and hardly get winded. So if it's warm outside, then I go and I walk outside. But if it's real cold, I just go up and down the stairs. I don't need a Stairmaster. I got real stairs. So what do you think about that? Let's see here. By the way, I bought the GS. See, I don't watch much TV. I create content like we're doing right now. I walk, I work, if you take the time that most people spend watching TV or watching YouTube or whatever, they could easily cut 2 hours out of that and walk if they chose to. But they don't choose to. By the way, I bought the GS Quartz Day Date from Little Treasure. Steve was great. The watch hasn't gained or lost 1/10 of a second in 3 months? Wait a second. Hasn't gained or lost 1/10 of a second in 3 months. To clarify that, in 3 months, how much is it off? That's unreal. Well, they're supposed to be, depending on the one you bought, I think that's the one that's supposed to be accurate to 5 seconds a year anyway. That's what they say, and they always over-deliver on their promise, I think. So yeah, if it's the one I'm thinking about that has the gold star on the dial, I mean, it's super freaking accurate. And let me know in the chat, Rich, if that one has a screw-down crown on it. Are you capable of naming a Grand Seiko ref that is complete shit, or are you too biased? Hey, right on this show, I've told people not to buy certain watches. I mean, I'm very picky, actually. I mean, there's a few Grand Seikos that I really like. There's a lot of them I don't like. There's a lot of them I don't like the case design. There's a lot of them that I think the case is too thick. I didn't buy their chronograph because it's so thick. I was considering, there was a titanium chronograph on eBay for a long time, the one that's like 9 or 10 grand, the real expensive one, titanium. It was just too thick. The guy was asking $7,000 or offer. I was thinking about offering him like 6 grand, right? But then the more I researched it, I didn't want to watch. Mine here is 14 mils thick. That, for me, is the limit. I didn't want anything any thicker than that. And there's a number of the Grand Seikos, including that watch with the chronograph, that's thicker, right? So, no, I'm not. I mean, there's a lot of Grand Seikos that I absolutely would not buy. The majority of them I would not buy. Same thing with Rolex. There's a lot of Rolexes I wouldn't buy. I'm very picky. I mean, if there's nothing else, I'm insanely picky. I would think you guys would know that by now. Just ordered 100 Astroblades, $8. Wow. Are we going to have a camera/photography theme stream? We can do that sometime. Absolutely, we can do that. Let's see here. I still get a couple of nicks on my jawline, but other than that, I went from having 10 ingrown hairs and a redneck from disposable to none. There you go. Good move, Brian. I enjoy getting a hot shave at the barber. I don't blame you. It's your real name, Paul Bluta. What podcast do you listen to, Durr? Okay, I'll answer that, and then I'm going to go through these, and then we're going to wrap this up. I find Astros can last about 4 2-day stubble shaves for me. Derby blades last longer but don't give as close a shave. Extremely coarse hair, so feathers go dull quickly for me. I set to the timer clock and it hasn't changed. Yes, gold star. Oh, well, yeah. You're not going to have any issues with that. And yes, screw down crown. Good. Now, Rich, let me know. Maybe you can't tell me now, but let me know when you take it in to have the battery changed, like after 3 years, do they pressure test it to make sure that it's still waterproof and all that? Is that what you do with that? Because I'm just wondering. It'd probably be a good idea to just have it done at the dealer if you can, and have them do a pressure test on it if you swim with it. So let's see. Lucia Buddha says, hello everyone. My safety razor journey has improved over the past few shaves, getting better at it. Used a feather blade for 4 to 5 shaves. On to Wilkinson next. Okay. Did you try the Astras? Those are really good. Blue Shirt Buddha says, hello, Chip. What's the best modern sports car under $80,000 in your opinion? The watch is amazing. Thin case, incredible bracelet, and date 8. Yeah, I hear you, Rich. That's an all-arounder. You can wear that for dress purposes. You can wear that for anything. Is it about 39 mils? Let me know in the chat how many mils that is. I know it's only about 10 mils thick. Sports car under $80,000. I haven't been following those cars. Can you buy a Porsche for that? Can you buy like an entry-level 911 for that? I don't know if you can anymore. I'd buy a 911 if it's in that price range. You probably can buy an entry-level one for that. Another email sent. Okay. Mustang GT350. There you go. That'd be awesome. I will pressure test myself. Rich says, oh, there you go. Leave my job at 5 p.m. Always coming at the end of these. Blue Shirt Buddha. Sorry about that. If you're talking under 80 grand, you won't get the best Corvette below. You'll get a stock model. So my answer is absolutely. Thanks for your opinion on the SBQR 257. What would be your pick for a dress watch from GS? One of those, that 9F that we were just talking about would be fantastic for dress purposes. They have the 9F that has that like rice bracelet, the like rice link bracelet. That's really cool. I looked at that watch. That would be really cool. There's a couple of the 9Fs. We'll pull one up here in a minute. I'm very picky. I've watched the second hand. I wouldn't sell this 39 millimeter for twice what I paid. Rich, it's an absolutely amazing watch. Put the model number in the chat again for the gentleman that asked about that. Put your model number in there again, and we'll pull that up. And then I'm going to go over the what happened to Sarah's stream. She didn't do a show Monday night. Hopefully she'll do one this Monday night at 10. She ate something that wasn't agreeing with her. So she didn't do Monday nights, but hopefully she'll be on Monday night. We'll see. Google Mustang GT350. Yeah, how much is it, Johnny? How much is the GT350? All right, let me show you the podcast first, and then we will we'll go on to the GT350. Okay, here we go. Let me switch to this camera. How can I get this in focus? There we go. All right, you guys can screenshot that. All right. I don't listen to all of these all the time, but these are the ones that are in my app. Okay. So you guys can screenshot that, and you can find those. There's a bunch of great podcasts that you can pick from. I love listening to them. And most of them have very few commercials, if any. If they do, and I can do the little skip thing on my app. You can skip like 45 seconds. Just hit the little thing, and it skips forward for the ones that do have commercials. So it's pretty freaking cool. All right, let's do the GT350 real quick, and then we'll do we'll pick a Grand Seiko dress watch, and then we're going to wrap it up. Hmm. 2019 Shelby GT350. I had a 1968 GT500 KR. Stood for King of the Road with the 428 in it. That thing was freaking awesome. Convertible. Freaking awesome. Why in the heck isn't this loading? Give me some time here. I'm trying to get this page to load. And it's 60K. Okay, there you go. This is not loading in. Darn it. Try again. Try one of these other links. Oh, the 2018 is loading. And now it shows the 2019. Okay. There you go. I don't think I'd get yellow, but yeah, 59,140. I wonder if you can get a discount on them. Wonder how available they are. Yeah, I think the red with the white, either one of those. The white with the blue stripes would be cool. The red with the white stripes. Absolutely. Oh, that's cool. That takes me back to the day when we were driving the original Shelbys. We had a bunch of Shelbys back in the day. I had a 67 also, all red. I also had a GT390, a 1967 GT390, green, the dark green with the stick that was like the Bullet car, like the one Steve McQueen had in Bullet. I had that same freaking car. That thing was awesome, the GT390. It was freaking awesome. Okay, so let's see what else we got here going on. SBGT 241G. Okay, let's pull that up. Pulling it up here. Yep, that be the baby. That be the one. That is freaking cool. Heritage Collection. That is cool. 9F 25th anniversary. Yeah, I saw one. I saw that one at Steve's in person. That is an all-arounder there. And now that you've confirmed it has a screw-down crown on it, it's only about 10 mils thick. That bracelet, the Rice bracelet, the Rice Link bracelet is super, 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 super cool. Yeah, I say so. .9 millimeters thick, 39.1. And it's got the dual curve sapphire crystal that is gorgeous. The crystal on that is freaking gorgeous. Full stop. Drop the mic. That is fantastic. Let's look at it again. Fan-freaking-tastic. Fantastic. Okay, let's see what else we got going on here. Do you remember the Jensen Interceptor? Yeah, but they were not very good cars. They were not very well made. So there was that. Cutting carbs and increasing satisfaction. Yeah, I think that's all gimmick. I think you're better off. You know, your body, the fuel of your body is carbs. Your body wants carbs for fuel. But you want complex carbohydrates. That's the key. You want complex carbohydrates and that release energy over a period of time. You don't want the sugars that hit your body right away. You know, you want slow release. Low-fat diets work as long as you are eating complex carbs. Okay? You can do a low-fat diet, and I think it's going to be much healthier for you if you get the complex carbs. Like for example, sweet potatoes are fantastic for you. I eat one almost every freaking day. So let's say we're going to wrap this puppy up here pretty soon. We see a lot of GTs in Las Vegas. Ford never discounted Shelby. They had premium usually. Oh, that's sad. I've got a friend with a Jensen Interceptor Mark III, amazing classic car. There you go. That GS bracelet looks amazingly comfortable. It is. Yeah, I played with that watch in person. And remember, it's only about 10 mils thick. I mean, it's just such a cool watch. Just about to dig into a sweet potato. It was a bitch to size, but there are 2 rods in each link. Wow, okay. Now, that's the thing. That's probably the only thing I don't like about some of those Grand Seikos is they don't have the micro adjustments. That's what I really like about my diver is that it has the micro adjustments. I don't have to fool with adjusting the bracelet, you know, with the pins and sleeve collars and all that. Just do that once. And then I've got enough adjustment in the micro adjustments, and then I've got that extension to use, like if I go out in the humidity and I just need to temporarily extend it. So I don't need to mess around with taking links in and out of the bracelet. That's the only thing that might. What I would probably do though is I'd probably size this watch a little bit on the loose side so that year round, even when it gets humid and all, it'll feel fine. In other words, I'd size it for summertime fit, and then in the winter I'd let it be a little loose. That's probably how I would solve that problem and not have to resize it often or ever. So that's the only thing about that. You're going on Archie's show today, Chip. I haven't been invited. I don't think they want me on that show anymore. So there's that. Beads of rice bracelet is so comfortable. Agreed. Okay. Archie was arrested today for stealing his son's pet tech. It's all over the news. Oh, I doubt that. Craig, what is better for a Boulevard Cruiser, vintage Lincoln or vintage Cadillac? When you mean vintage, what year are you talking about? I'll tell you, they have a rust problem, but if you can find like a 1966 Cadillac Fleetwood Brougham, 1966 Fleetwood Brougham, that has the picnic tables that fold down in the back and everything, they're really cool. They've got the walnut wood on the door panels and everything. They're really cool. 1966 Fleetwood Brougham. 1965 is pretty good too, but I don't know if the 65s had the fold-down picnic tables. I don't remember now. I had a 65, and I just don't remember if it had them. Maybe it did. There was something about the 66 that it had that the 65 didn't. Now, I don't remember exactly what it was. But anyway, those are really cool cars, but they did have a rust problem. If you want to get one that's rust-free, that's never been in a rusty environment, a 1979 Fleetwood Brougham, that's a pretty good engine. That's got the 429 Cadillac engine in it. all steel Cadillac engine. That was the last of the good ones that had the steel window lifts in them and all. 1980, they went to plastic window lifts, and the engines they weren't as good. They went downhill from there. So 79 would be about the last year that I would say would be a good one to get a classic Cadillac, if you want to call that a classic. But 66 was awesome. So I just don't know how far back you want to go. Thanks. Let's see. Cutting down on bagels for breast. I hear you. Absolutely. I've never worn a more attractive but strong bracelet. I hear you. Thanks for the longer live stream tonight. It's great content. Enjoy your dinner, my friend. Okay. Good move. If you drop/reduce bread and alcohol, weight drops dramatically. Yeah, I've never been a drinker, so those are empty calories, folks. You're drinking. That's just empty calories coming into your body. 100% right about complex carbs, Craig, but why do you think the body stores processed carbs and sugars as fat in the body? Here's how the body works, and I'll go through this real quick, and then I do have to wrap this. Okay, here's how the body works. Your body thinks it's starving all the time. That goes from 10,000 years ago, back when food was not plentiful. You always wanted to eat whatever food that you could come across. If you restrict calories, okay, your body goes into a mode where it's almost like panicking, and it's saying, uh-oh, I have got to store whatever I've got as fat, and if I need energy, I'm going to burn the muscle first. So that's why when people diet, they have problems, because their body starts taxing the muscle and burning that, because it's in panic mode, because the calories are being restricted, right? And you would think it would be the other. You would think your body would want to burn the fat first, but no, it wants to burn the muscle first, because it wants to save the fat for a real emergency down the road, right? So the last thing your body wants to do is burn fat. You can force it to burn fat by being active at a certain level, at a certain heart rate. That's where aerobic exercises and all come in, right? Where you get to a certain point where your body wants to burn that fat. And the other way you get your body to burn the fat is if it knows it's getting enough nutrition in, you're eating on a regular basis, and you're giving it the nutrition it really wants, then it's not as apt to go into panic mode and to want to burn the muscle, right? And if you're using the muscle to exercise, that's where exercise comes in, like using dumbbells or whatever. If you're using the muscle to exercise, your body won't burn it, because your body says, uh-oh, I need that muscle. It's doing something. It's doing work. It's defending me, or whatever it's doing. It doesn't know what you're really doing with it, right? So, uh-oh, I got to use the fat now, right? I can't use the muscle because it's in use. So the key to losing weight is, if you're restricting calories, try to get as much nutrition for the calories you do take in, and then make sure your muscles are active so that your body doesn't tax the muscles. That's a short summation of it, but that's basically the way the whole thing works. Okay. Anyone here replace spring bars on their watches? Any experience with one popping off? That's a good question. Good idea, David. I pretty much might cut out alcohol. Last time I drank, I woke up. Yeah, I would definitely kill the alcohol. Alcohol is not a good deal. Archie's an Indian giver. He took back the Patek from his son for a down payment on the Rolex Explorer 1 and used a credit card for the rest. My house goes through 6 dozen eggs a week. Wow. If you have a spring bar problem, you probably need to clean the spring bar hole of the watch. Might also have a bent lug. I hear you, Rich. We'll keep that in my hand once. Okay. Also, spring bar needs to be proper width. Let's see here. Kind of why only trust screws on bracelets over pins nowadays. Howdy from Texas. Here's the thing. Pins and collars are pretty good. Pressure pins, the pins that don't have the collars on the end, those are for real cheap watches, and those are not a good solution. But the pins and collars like Sony uses, I mean Seiko, like they use in this watch, that in focus, is actually a very good solution, because what it allows for is the pins can freewheel in here, okay? Whereas if the pin went through and anchored in this link here, screwed in and anchored, was fixed, right? Then that pin could not rotate on its axis. And so the pin is fixed and the link rotates against the pin, it causes more wear. And that's where you get the wear over time, and the bracelets start separating out, and sometimes the pin wears to the point where it'll break, or other issues happen down the road because you don't have that freewheeling. So there are big advantages to using the pin and collar. Sizing the bracelet is not one of them. It's a pain in the neck to take those out and put them back in and all. It's not that hard if you have the right tools, but I mean, it's a pain in the neck compared to the screw. Okay, but there are major advantages to using that system, not the least of which is if a pin gets damaged or something like that, it's very easy to replace the pin and or the collar. Whereas if you have threads that get stripped or something like that, or you get a problem with the threads on the screw, that can be more problematic, getting a replacement and having to replace a link or whatever you might have to do to solve that problem. So there are some big advantages to the what they call pins and pipes, was what Seiko calls them, but pins and collars. So don't dismiss them out of hand. That it's just not a good way to go, because like all of this stuff, there are pluses and minuses to everything. Let's see. Yes, but you need sufficient protein to intake to spare your muscles. Here's the thing, JMG. You'd be surprised that you don't need as much protein as people think you need. I eat like a half an avocado every day. Occasionally, I'll eat some salmon. I'll eat some roast beef maybe once a week. I do not take in a huge amount of protein, right? And trust me, my muscles are very solid, especially for a 61-year-old. So you'd be surprised. People exaggerate sometimes how much protein you actually need. Again, it's a balance of, you want to make sure you take in food that is going to give your body the maximum amount of nutrition for the number of calories you take in. That's the key. You don't want to eat food that's inefficient in delivering the goods to you. That's why something like an avocado is very good. There's a lot of nutrition in that puppy. A sweet potato, I keep mentioning it, but it's full of nutrition, right? There's various things you can eat that are good for you. An apple a day, you know, that old saying, right? Apples are pretty good for you. There's things you can munch on, like an orange, right? It's pretty good for you to eat an orange. And it's a lot of carbs, right? But it's really good for you. I haven't had a cold for years, right? I eat an orange every day. So there you go. We're going to have to wrap this up, though, because I do have to eat. I'm getting hungry. Craig, I don't know the day-date range from Rolex. Which one was it you would recommend? For the money, I think the 18238, the model 18238, is a good value if you can find a really good one in really good shape. I think that's the most bang for the buck, the 18238. Steve, if your budget allows for date 840 in yellow gold, otherwise 36 is also fantastic. Yeah, you're going to have to really step up the budget on the date 840. Absolutely. 2mm. Okay. Dudley's watch is a stunner. Absolutely, it is. Howdy, if the heavy-duty ones will mount properly in the holes, now use it. You don't want thin ones holding your bracelet. There you go. No, meal frequency has minimal effect compared to the total energy balance. Your friend's weight shot up because of caloric surplus, or he has some sort of metabolic problem. See, that's where exercise and all that comes in. You can keep your metabolism rate up by being active and exercising and doing different things. It's the whole thing falls. There's a lot that happens here. Stress is a big thing also. There's a lot of moving parts. Sufficient protein, exactly. Craig, do you eat out much? Almost never. I used to back in the day. I had a lot of clients that had restaurants and stuff like that, and I still go to events and things like that where they serve food, and I eat things I probably shouldn't. I don't have a lot of self-control. If they got donuts there, I'm going to eat them. If they got pizza there, I'm going to eat it, you know. So I will fall off the wagon when I go to something like that. Like I go to one of the Shockley Honda events where they have like 7 different restaurants there serving all kinds of food. They had a new car showing a month or so ago, and I went there and shot a video, and they had all these restaurants with food in there and all. Oh my God, I ate everything. I ate a little bit from everything. So yeah, I will fall off the wagon and eat whatever in those kinds of situations, but I don't do that often. I like to control what I eat most of the time. So there's that. The best investment you can make in your absolutely. Almost my full-time job now is taking care of myself. Yeah, because I can't afford to be out of sorts. I mean, because sometimes I have to go out and do things, right? And if I'm not physically in good shape to do it, I can't do that. So there's that. All right, I'm going to thanks, guys. Okay, there we go. Hey, we're going to wrap it up. I pretty much mirror what you do, Craig. I don't eat much meat or fish. I usually get my protein from beans and eggs. There you go. Absolutely. Lentils. I eat walnuts every day. I eat some walnuts. I make my own almond milk. I've got a video on my channel here of the almond milk that I make. It's fantastic. I use that, and I make oatmeal. Believe it or not, I eat oatmeal at night. That's my last meal. I eat oatmeal, and I usually eat it either with an apple in it or a banana in it to make it taste good. And then I have my almond milk that I use for it. And it is just out of this world, my oatmeal that I make. It tastes fantastic. I eat that every night. So there's that. Craig is very close, gents. He knows his stuff about dieting. Eat the good foods, whole foods, and cut out cheap carbs, starches, and sugars. ID guy. There you go. Yeah, spend money on the good stuff. Eat the good stuff. But hey, you don't have to spend a ton of money either. I buy the old-fashioned oatmeal, the big container from Costco, right? It lasts me a long time. I buy the big bag of almonds, also from Costco, that I use to make my almond milk. I buy the dates without the seeds in them, without the pits, and I put the dates in I have a Vitamix, right? I put the almonds, I soak the almonds overnight. I put the almonds in the Vitamix. I put the dates in there. I put a little bit of vanilla flavoring in there, and I put the water in there, and I blend it for about 6 minutes. And you blend it that long, you don't have to strain it. It's like silky smooth milk. It just there's not even little particles of almond. It's just all totally turns into milk, right? I make enough to last about 4 or 5 days because it'll go bad. There's no preservatives in it, right? Enough to last about 4 or 5 days, and I eat that every day with my oatmeal, and it's just fantastic stuff. Yeah, you get some protein out of that stuff. You get some protein out of walnuts, out of almonds. Yeah, I'm getting hungry talking about this stuff. Where'd you get the Tiffany lights? I don't remember, Richard. That was a long time ago. I had a client actually who was going out of business, and I got that screen that's way back behind me with those lights hanging on it, that Chinese screen. On the other side, it's got soapstones and all that. It's really cool. And I got that from him. He was going out of business. I think I might have gotten that lamp from him for like 10 cents on the dollar. I got to get a deal on this kind of stuff, so that's how we do all that. All right, I'm going to wrap it up, folks. It's been a good discussion. We've solved the world's problems once again. Let me get in here into my Video Pro app so that we can terminate this thing. Terminate this broadcast. There we go. Now I'm going to hit this little button. Oh, be sure to click that little bell so you'll get notifications, that little bell. And, of course, Monday night, 10 o'clock, Cowgirls Live Show.